It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all. And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your boy homeboy.
Whoa.
This your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
Are you AI?
This your boy homeboy AI hallucination.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
We're back.
We're back.
Back? We're?
All these jagged pills. We have a controversy for you to talk about. Fennix Flexin and his song Rubberz hits number 58 on the Billboard charts. But people are concerned. People are concerned that his song sounds like AI, and at this point, there might be some receipts for that speculation. And so we're going to talk about the history of the song, the controversy, who Fennix Flexin is, what research has been found by the producer Medicine, and Treblo and AI music overall, right? So what is the concern with AI music, how we feel about this song, and then do fans even care? That is the whole podcast in a nutshell. So the history of this song. So Fennix Flexin released Rubberz out in around June 5th, 2026. And then after its release, it quickly climbed up to the Billboard charts, the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States, up to number 58. And then he subsequently started doing press. He did an On the Radar performance. He sat down with Channel 5 News, and more people began being skeptical about his work. And so that's where we'll start this conversation. Do you think that Rubberz deserves to be a hit? What do you think?
If it was communicated that it was AI, it could be a hit. But not if he was being or working a grift to try and like fool the fans into thinking that he created this song. Like, I just don't think that that's good business or fair to people out there. What do you think?
Hold on. Why is it not fair?
Because don't sell me anything that I don't know the ingredients. I'm giving you credit for something you didn't do. And it's an amalgamation of a lot of different people. I don't know who those people are, but I'm not giving you the credit for other people's work.
Yeah, so to carry on your analogy, it sort of feels like there's a chef back in the back of the kitchen, and the chef's a robot. And then you come out with the food and bring it to the table, and you're saying, "Hey, enjoy my fine, tasty meal of potatoes and shallots," or whatever the hell. Like,
the fact that you know that all fine dining recipes, you got to get a shallot and not an onion. Shallot.
As Gordon Ramsay would say. Yeah. But I have a different take on this. Does it deserve to be a hit song? As a song, it's nonsensical lyrics that sort of kind of are relatable, but at the same time they don't. They're more intriguing than they are relatable.
Yeah.
And the musicality, those pieces, as far as them matching what a hit record actually is, I think it's spot on for a hit.
True.
And that is like after knowing many hit songs over the decades, what it takes to be that hit. What I don't think is deserving is Fennix Flexin taking the credit for making this hit organically. because nothing about it is organic. And we'll get to that proof later on. He just has sort of manipulated this tool to make the thing, while not really contributing more than a bunch of prompts and his voice. And even then, like, his voice is manipulated and fake compared to his legit voice. And so I think that's an opportunity to talk about his background.
Oh.
And then get into Medicine's research. So if anybody has seen Fennix Flexin before, you probably recognize him from the group Shoreline Mafia. I can't remember how many people are actually in the group. Didn't do much research about their background, but I do know some of their songs. And when you listen to their songs, it's a lot of like West Coast cadences and sounds. It's really like, I wouldn't say hyphy vibe, but like, you know what the West Coast sounds like when West Coast hip hop comes up. Mm-hmm. And the energy that it gives off. Like, you are likely to Dougie to
likely to Dougie is wild.
You are most likely to Dougie when this music comes about.
I also think it gives that YG, like if you think like YG or OT Genesis, like that kind of West Coast, just traditional like LA West Coast hip hop artists, and it just is so very, very different from this song that it's like I don't really know what he would be thinking to go like. There are artists who try new things and go into other genres, but this is like the fringes of that.
Right. He is a complete departure from what he makes. And that is called out in his interview with the guy from Channel 5. If you don't know about Channel 5, it's a internet news channel that really gets on the ground and like does investigative journalism on the internet. So shout out to Channel 5.
Shout out Channel 5.
They did an interview with him, and you can sort of tell that he is like hyping up the hyperbole of this record, his accent, his pretend British accent, the way that he made the song. He's not clearly revealing how he made it, but also like his interviewer isn't digging as deeply in the cut of the video that I seen. Right, there could have been some questions that were asked that were cut out. Ultimately, he is advised at some point by Timbaland not to give them as much information about his process. And that is one of the first clues that pops out. The second clue, the on the radar performance. What did you think about that?
I thought it was Ashley Simpson, Milli Vanilli-esque.
Yo, the SNL performance?
Like, you would think that at some point you would do the work, right? And he says it even in the interview, which is like another like red flag, where he's like, I did it all in one night or something like that.
What is the work from your perspective?
The work that you would need to do to continue this script, Mr. Fenix, is rehearse the song.
Right.
Know the
lyrics. Know the lyrics.
Have a show, like a show mix.
Whoa. Simmer down now.
Oh, gosh. Have a show mix, guy.
You're going to be Spider-Man turning into Venom now.
Oh, that is exactly right. But have a show mix, bro. Like, take your time. Like, if I'm making this AI song, I would still, like, even if I'm just playing around with it, right? As a creative, I would at least make it as close to my voice as possible so I can, replicate the thing that I'm trying to convince people later on is not AI.
Yeah.
And if I didn't know that it was going to be a hit, which it didn't seem like you did, I would at least rehearse the song ad nauseum to where, if nothing else, I can do the song I made. But you can't You know what? I'm gonna take a breather. What do you think? What do you think?
I'm gonna call your therapist real quick.
What?
You are on 10.
Oh man, sorry. It's such low IQ behavior. But what do you think about it before I
the on the radar performance?
Yes,
I have nothing more to add about the on the radar performance. Yeah. I think what we should do is get into the moment where all of this collapses.
Yeah.
And so the producer, Medicine, was on Instagram, and he made a video about how Rubberz is a sham. And so we're going to take a listen to that, and then we're going to come back and talk about that research.
By Fennix Flexin is entirely AI generated, and him and Perp are lying about it.
Swiping cards and stacking chips.
There's no AI on this.
No AI on it.
You freestyle Rubberz?
Yeah.
What?
They did not use Suno. They did not use Udio. They used something called Treblo, formerly known as Sonato, which is a new free online music model. And he actually exposed this on accident himself before Rubberz even came out. He posted a snippet of a song where he forgot to remove the Sonato text from the file name. It's also really strange that Treblo used to be called Sonato, and they rebranded to Treblo 2 days before Rubberz was released. And 2 days before that, he was getting accused of using Sonato for a different unreleased song.
Yellow neck reaching out to the garden wall.
It makes me wonder if they're closely tied to this company somehow, or trying to cover their tracks ahead of time. But for now, I'll show you how I know they used Trello. All right, so the way this works is first you add tags, then there's a lyric box where you just tell it what you want the lyrics to be about. So I'll show you what it sounds like.
Diamond watches ticking on my empty wrist. I guess money was the...
Yeah, so as you can see, it sounds just like the vocal on Rubberz, but that's not even the juicy part. We're going to get there next. So after messing around with this model for maybe 30 minutes with this very vague lyric prompt, I started to notice that it very consistently spits out exact specific bars from Rubberz. Way too many, way too often for it to possibly be a coincidence. Very important context real quick. You might be wondering, is Rubberz feeding back into this model and causing it to spit out these bars and sound like Rubberz? And the answer is no, I know it's not, because I replaced Fenix with Eminem using the exact same prompt, and it still spits out all of these exact bars. So the lyric generation component of this model is completely separated from the artist tags. The artist tags do not influence the lyrics whatsoever, and I will show you proof of that.
Diamond chains hanging heavy now by a heavy diamond chain. I see your face in the champagne bubbles, still seeing your face in the glass. Pockets thick with plastic, my pockets getting thicker. Plastic smiles for the camera lens, stacking bills just to lose my friends. Plastic smiles on Sunset Boulevard.
Plastic smiles. You know, all right, Bob. It's time to wrap it up here. Rubber band snap.
Rubber band snapping while I just let the rubber band snap.
Some kind of money on a table, it says a lot.
Bands on the table. Bank rolls on the table.
In the rain comes up often.
You stay stuck in the rain while I let me stand in the pouring rain.
Cannot sleep at night.
Talk for a living, but I cannot sleep at night. But I can't sleep through the night.
Him and Perp are lying to your face about it. They fully generated this song. You guys are generating and releasing and profiting off of copywritten material. Even if that doesn't end in legal repercussions, like, I think the whole creative community of actual chefs who are actually cooking and being creative are not gonna fuck with you ever again. So, and I find it weird that Timbaland is encouraging him to continue lying about it.
Thoughts?
Again, you can tell the people that are not career criminals. Like, at this point, I would just kind of even question his music further, because nothing about what you're doing smells smart or intelligent. You did an AI model. You didn't base it anywhere close to like you, outside of using your voice, but you didn't find any of the attributes that are already in you, that you already have. You just like threw things at the wall, and this came out, and you were like, sounds pretty good. Like, what does this video make you feel? Because I know I'm just enraged by everything.
I'm not angry. Quite frankly, like, people are going to do what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Simultaneously, like, a lot of the work that I do outside of this podcast, education, and that type of thing is advocacy work on laws and things of that nature with United Musician and Allied Workers. And one thing that we're fighting for is clear definitions of like how AI can be credited, clear definitions of like clear like labeling of AI music, the fight for the copyright and people's right to know what is being trained. Ultimately, what I care about is these models are trained on other people's music who haven't given you permission to train the model. If people are voluntarily giving you their songs in order to train these models, I could care less. But people don't even have the opportunity to say no to you, and that's a violation of trust, in my opinion, and that is what Fennix Flexin is guilty of. He is violating the trust of those artists that put in the hard work, who couldn't say no to this model. And he is violating the trust of his fans, who thought this was a real song that is made by him, that is going to be like kind of pushed out to the rest of the world off of the momentum of those people that like it and like him specifically as an artist. And there are going to be this faction of fans that don't care. That is fine, right? Like a third of people that are out there are really indifferent or ignorant about AI music in general, and that is going to happen. Simultaneously, there are people that do care. There's about 44% of people that care about this as music fans, and that is the issue. Is if you're going to fake it, at least be real about your fakeness, right? Like, be out there. Like, I made this AI song and I think it could be a #1 hit, and I don't care what it trained off of in order to make it. Say that. So at least that we can understand where we stand, and we're not standing somewhere off of false pretenses. That is my like kind of objective stance of it.
You know what's crazy about it? Is with all of these different models and however they're trained, it's not like the computer itself can't figure out what percentages of the things it's using. Like, is that not like a standard thing of like the data that it's using? Like, it can show me or should be able to reflect the data that it's using to formulate whatever.
I don't know. It might be able to do that, but you have to program that into the software, or at least program it on the dashboard so it shows you what percentage of this is you, what percentage of this is like manufactured from something that other people's work.
Yeah, I only asked that because it's just like we're already using like, so it's just a hodgepodge database of everybody's music that they've, you know.
So what's your like base question here?
My base question is like, why is there not more understanding of what's being like, who's being used in these prompts and songs and things?
Well, that gets into our next piece. Okay. The next part of this conversation, the issue with Treblo in hindsight, the issue with like all these models, Suno, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for the bulk of it, like I'll break down the history really quickly. Okay. The bulk of like these training models have taken music from the internet, and this is proven in court, from like Google, Spotify, all these other places. They have downloaded this music, ingested it into their models, and it is trained on things from now all the way back to early recorded music. Okay. It knows lyrics, it knows sounds, it knows instruments, it knows errors. So eras. Because it knows all of that information, it can now like kind of generate what is being trained off of. But that's the issue with like the generation, is that it is trying to spit out something that is only based off of a limited data set, which means that it's not adding anything new creatively. It's like a collage or hodgepodge of stuff that already exists. And that's why the AI hallucinates in this way that is kind of talked about in medicine's research, where it will spit out some of the same versions of lyrics. Mm-hmm. Because it's only trained on but so many lyrics. And there are but so many lyrics that would make a good or like hit record or sort of listenable record, right? There are many songs in this thing, and the thing that they have in common as far as like good songs are the lyrics are easily digestible, the melodies are very common, mm-hmm. the chord progressions are something that people are used to or something that people mostly vibe with. And so it's learning from our expertise of music.
Right. That makes sense. It's just it just seems like a thing where it's like the data is there. I guess, like you said, there just has to be something, and there should be something within all of these programs that just clarifies where it's getting, like, how are you breaking the data down? Like, you can't lay claim to bankrolls, the word, because, you know, people will use bankroll for this or bankroll for that, right? But the phrasing or the intonation and how you're extrapolating, like, the data that you have, where did you get the data from? Like, what data points are you using? Because you're trying to create a hit, especially with how they have the tags, right? So if you're going Eminem 1980s, right? You go through all the 1980 song, we already know that the vocal point there is Eminem in terms of his vocal tones, right? But you're using all these 1980 songs, and you probably section that down to this and this. It would seem like it would be easier for them to get that information, but it's just a obstruction of like, well, it could be this. The clarity to clarify, it's not hard for them to build a model that will tell you what it used. Okay. Thank you. It's not hard for them to do that. They just don't want to do that because then they're caught in copyright infringement. Okay. It's snitching on yourself. Okay. Okay. So as long as it's like if they did that, then Eminem could say, "Oh, you trained off of Lose Yourself. I'm gonna sue you," right? Right, but he can't when it's just his voice. He can anecdotally, but like, how do you find that out without having some proof? Like, you need evidence in court. You can't just say, "Oh, this sounds like me. I win." That is why these are the things that I think bother me the most about AIs. It's just like, bro, you know that's my voice. Like, well, yeah, what are we doing? Yes, like you can. I think the issue is that you're not going to win a copyright infringement off of voice alone, which is insane because it's just like that's not what copyright law is. No, copyright law is the master recording, so you have to go match the master recording to this issue, but like. Let's bring it down because this is already happening, right? Yeah. To give credit for Deezer, they are labeling AI music. I think Spotify is now getting ready to label AI music if they aren't already. Mm. This is not because of Deezer did it willingly. I don't know if Spotify is doing it willingly. I doubt it. There is a AI watchdog site on the publication The Atlantic. They have created a site where you can type in your name, and I'll put it in the description, where you can type in your name as an artist, creator of books, creator of music, creator of videos, and you can see which models have taken your work. And if you want to go after them, go do that, right? There are individuals across the world that are scraping databases in order to use your work, right? They got 45 of my songs. And I think I sent you a list of what songs they got of yours too. Yeah. And we collaborate, so that means they got combined. They have a lot of our work. Yeah.
We're sticking on this a little bit too long, and I think that's the reason why I wanted us to be a little bit less emotional about it, so we're not getting into this whirlwind of breaking things down.
Yeah.
And extend the length of the video. Ultimately, the issue with Treblo specifically, and many of these models, is that these tech founders who are creating these AI...
Excuse me.
These tech founders that are creating these AI models are doing it in a way where they want to be stars without the work of actually taking the time to learn how to make music, put it together, and do it. And there's a caveat to that. They think that they are not going to be able to make the music that they love to hear without these tools, which is absolutely foolish, because I teach middle school students to make great music on a regular basis without knowing necessarily how to play an instrument or how to sing. And we mostly do the instrumental part. And there are tools out there that can already do this thing without you taking something that is not voluntarily given. So Soundtrap, right, is a tool out there that people that don't know how to or just new to learning how to produce can take stems of productions and put those stems together in a new creative way. Right, you can hear the key of the stem. You can it adjusts to the BPM. It even adjusts the key for certain tracks, and you can put those things together and build out a song that is uniquely developed by you. That is a tool that these people could use, but they are being lazy about the creative process, and that is the issue. The laziness, the authenticity is part of the issue. So I don't know that there's more to get on that unless you have something.
No, what I have though is, with all of this stuff that we've talked about, do y'all, the fans, even care?
Right.
Does it matter to you if the song is AI or organic? Do you care if an artist that you know has made organic music somehow makes an AI song? What are your thoughts? Hold
up. We're not going to close yet.
Oh.
But I think, because we haven't even talked about this part.
Oh, well, do you, well, let me rephrase that.
What do you think fans care about?
I think they care about, does this song make me feel? Does this song fit what I needed to fit for my day? Does it answer something in my life? Does it satisfy me on whatever level?
Does this song have a utilitarian purpose?
Yeah.
For my day.
Yeah, and that's it.
Even if that's just the feels, because that's utilitarian too.
Yeah. There's just nothing as deep that I think with the fans. I think it's just, does it make me feel good? If you are a creative and a music maker, I think there are more questions that you ask, but the percentage of those people in terms of fans is clearly way less. But we
have the data. So Luminate is a company that really tracks music data. They track Billboard, they track a bunch of different stuff and actually report Billboard charts positions. And what they say about music fans and them caring about the thing, we said it earlier, about a third of fans are indifferent. There's about 44% that really it hovers around in the 40% range, that there are people that absolutely don't like AI music. And then there's another, if I combine it, maybe about 20% of folks that, 20 to 25% of folks that somewhat like it or better like it as a tool. I think these models are reaching out for that upper 10% that don't care at all. And I guess not care. They do like using or like music that is created or generated by AI. And And so ultimately, I think the bulk of fans are either indifferent or dislike it. And that is a great place to be in, because hopefully you can convert those folks that are indifferent to the do not care camp.
Yeah.
And can systematically push against this before it gets too crazy. On my other channel, I'm going to do some research and some background about AI music and kind of talk about that. But ultimately, it comes down to the fans. It comes down to the music creators doing exactly what Medicine said in his video is, we don't F with this.
Yeah. I do think that does mean like you indifferent folks do have to make a decision, because a lot of us, to me, the biggest issue to close is that the indifferent people, we feed into the model, whether like it can be for good or for evil. But most times it's still feeding into something because we're not making like a decision, and therefore it eats and feasts off of the inactivity, if you will.
In marketing, every business is aiming for the indifferent group. They are trying to make the indifferent the norm.
Yeah.
Right? Once upon a time, you didn't know what Tide was as a laundry detergent. There were only about a few percentage of people that knew what Tide was. Eventually, they got big enough to catch the middle two, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
You just made me think of like 5 different jingles in my head, oh my god. Anyway,
plastic smiles.
Release. Let's get it done. But anyway, that was a terrible transition. I wish that was AI. But anyway,
I'm just gonna put auto-tune on it.
What do y'all think about this AI music? Were you bumping Rubberz in the whip? Were you listening to this song by Fennix Flexin? I don't ever want to say the name of that song again.
Wow.
Let us know down in the comments. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you can be notified for every time that we go live. We appreciate each and every one of you that is helping us reach our goals, because you're doing it, and we'll see you in the next one. A 1 and a 2 and a peace. Whatever you're about to edit with this.
You're gonna be here for it.
Damn it.